Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to the ISO press conference. My name is Chris Denton, and I'm proud to be the Deputy Fire Chief of the Edmond Fire Department. Our order of events will start with a brief presentation about what it takes to achieve a high ISO rating and receive a certification.
Well, we're honored to be here today. Ken Stoops, our local representative, myself. You might be thinking, what's the water guy doing here? Well, that's just recent. I managed the Southwest region for a number of years, and still going to be doing some fire stuff, but working with water providers as well. I still have, I lost all the other states, but I'll still manage Texas, so I'm not that far away. You're the newest Class 1 to ISO. Ken did all the work. I'm honored here to be presenting it, but it's a really quite of an achievement for you all to achieve this. There's about 45,000 fire protection areas across the country. We provide ratings from 1 to 10 for all those communities, 1 being the best you can do, superior fire protection, and 10 is not no rating, but because you don't meet the minimum criteria or you're beyond 5 road miles from a fire station. Now, these ratings are based on our fire suppression rating schedule that really is very high bars to achieve. The schedule is based on 100 points, and there's actually 105.5 points available. I'll explain that in a minute. These high bar standards are also incorporated with national standards. The National Fire Protection Association, American Water Association, as well as APCO on the communication. We have a section that deals with fire apparatus, and then we also reference the NFPA standards as well. As I said, it's based on 100 points. Where you stand between a 10-point margin is the classification you get. To be a Class 1, you have to score between 90 and 100 points, and obviously a 2, 80, and 90 points. If you look across the country, and I said these are high bars, you can see the majority of communities are in that 4, 5, 6 classification. And the reason that is, again, they're high bars, and also not only is the schedule reviewed periodically, but also these ratings are validated by actuarial folks in that they see that it really does mean that better fire protection equals less loss. So those ratings are really not only based on what you score in the schedule, and they're also based on actual data too, as far as claims, and I should say they're validated by that. In Oklahoma, we have the same thing, although I would say more progressive. As you can see, countrywide, it's really kind of bottlenecked there. Here we have a lot more communities that are very progressive as far as their fire protection. It doesn't just take a great fire department, which you all have, to become a Class 1. It takes good stakeholders in all the areas. The schedule is based on what your community's or city's response is to a first alarm structure fire. So from when someone dials 911, how they get the chief's forces here, the wheels rolling on the fire trucks, quickly as possible in dispatch, how those people are certified to do that and trained, as well as then who responds, what kind of training we have here, what kind of apparatus, equipment, what's the territory that they're covering. And then when you get to the fire scene, do you have water there? You know, and so we look at the water distribution system and how that factors in, because you have a great fire department and no water, how effective can you be? And then also at the end, we look in the schedule. Actually, it's really in the beginning, but it's at the end of the schedule. We look at the community risk reduction efforts of the community, and that really factors in. Most Class 1s, and I'll kind of show you in a minute, if you didn't do all what you do in your community risk reduction, you wouldn't be, at that level. And so it takes all those factors all those agencies working together to become a Class 1. It's really a community rating when you get down to it. And then there's kind of another side of this that we look at each community differently. Each survey is different. We look at the building stock, what you have to protect. Do you have high-rise buildings? Do you have apartment complexes? Do you have warehouses, factories? We look at that. We look at the needed fire flows within the community. It not only assesses what type of fire suppression resources you need on the fire department, but it also entails what type of water flows are needed in those areas. So the first section there, the emergency communications, it's very important what kind of communication center there is, what kind of technical capabilities as far as phone lines, the computer-aided dispatch systems and all like that. But what really matters is the people. This whole schedule is based on performance of, are those folks certified? Do they have continuing education? And how fast are they answering that 911 call and getting the folks responding to the scene? In communications, that is 10% or 10 points of the actual schedule, and your score on the 10 points couldn't get any better. Aced it, 10 points out of 10, excellent there. Fire department wise, it's great to have the right equipment, that it's tested and running in proper order, but what really matters is the people. The folks I see back here in the engine room, they're the people that matter. How they do their training and preparation. We know in the fire service, you know, you train and prepare 90% of the time for maybe 10% of what you really do. So that's so important. We look at all the people, how they're trained, how they're certified, and then where fire stations are. We do a whole deployment analysis, and all those factors go in. A nice shiny big red truck here is important, but again, the people are important. It's in performance, where they're located, deployment, personnel, training, and of course operational considerations as far as the standard operating procedures for structural firefighting, and that there is an incident command system in place as well. On the fire department, that's the largest portion of the schedule. There's 50 points out of the 100. 43.8 is just, that is like a fantastic score for fire department. When we look at some of the individual factors, there's only 9 points in training and 8.3. So I know all those folks back there are doing what it takes to do the proper training to meet what they need to do to protect the citizens of Edmond. As well as, you can see operational considerations was aced. Your personnel is a great score. All across the board, they are all fantastic scores. On the water supply, it's another large section. It's 40% of the score. Put 34.8. And just really good here, 34.8 out of the 40. Fantastic. What's really, again, performance-wise, it's good to where there's enough supply, main size to be able to deliver that water. But what's even as important, that's 7 points there. Even though it's a small portion, that means that the hydrants are being tested regularly and that there's a flow testing program to ensure that the needed fire flows are correct and available in those areas. So that's really important. Community risk reduction. There are this, and then the one thing I forgot on the fire side, not only is it important all that training that the firefighters do for the rating, but also within the schedule now, we have a lot of safety factors in this current schedule that weren't there years ago, because firefighters getting to the scene safely, operating safely, is certainly better for the citizens, life safety, and before, the insurance industry didn't look at it like just as kind of property conservation, but when you really look at that, firefighters getting there safely, operating safely, that's going to equate to less loss as far as claims as well. And same thing on the community risk reduction side. Those fires that don't start, they are the best ones. Well, they're the ones that you don't want. They don't have any claims associated to them. The efforts that are done in code enforced, having codes, having it enforced, doing good public safety, fire safety education, and investigating fires is so valuable. In that, there is 5.5 points available, and we tack that on at the end. It's 4.75 points out of 5.5, which again is great. It's showing that there's good code enforcement, and we all know that code enforcement is for life safety, firefighter safety, but also property risk reduction there. And doing a great job with community education, and of course, real good with fire investigations as well. And that also incorporates that you're doing an incident reporting system and participating in the National Fire Incident Reporting System. So when you look at the total score here, 93.2 points, fantastic. We know 10 on the communications, 43 and change on the fire, 34, almost 35 on the water supply. It gives us a subtotal, and you'll see in there at the bottom, and there's a divergence factor. The divergence factor is the difference between the fire and the water. Communications isn't incorporated in that. You can have the best fire department and no water again. How effective can you be? And the opposite, fire hydrant on every corner, no fire department responding. So that balances it out. Normally we see that factor higher in a lot more communities. In class ones, like yourself, we see that very low. It's like nil. They are 0.12, and that is because everyone is doing a fantastic job and is really exceeding at a high level. So then at the end we get a subtotal, and we add in the 4.75 points, and so we go over into the 93.2. I always kind of like to say that community risk reduction really puts you into the next class, into the class 1. So kudos to the fire marshal and all that. I'm an ex-chief fire marshal. It's kind of where it fits in the spreadsheet here when it comes down to it, but really without good community risk reduction, you can't be, and without anything else, you can't be a class 1 either. But it's kind of, I always say that the community risk reduction puts you over the top. Congratulations. We are going to be doing a little ceremony here, awarding a plaque for your efforts and recognition of your hard work that you all do, and this really does reflect all the good work that you do in the city. We have a website that we'll make available to the fire chief that not only gives all these scores within the summary report, but it'll also show you where you stand as far as benchmarking information, both statewide, nationally, and amongst a peer group of similar sized cities. And you can see where you fall in there. This is a real good tool in planning and forecasting in the future as well. And all your information is provided in a GIS fashion as well. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about, and that's it. That's actually your site there, and it can show you're higher than all those benchmarking categories amongst your peers, state and nationally. Now, this is also, you have a separate section that we call the FDS area, the Fire Department Supply Area. That's the area that do not have a fire hydrant within 1,000 feet. You are a class 1 in the area that has hydrant, but in the outside area, you're a class 2. That is the most amazing score I have really ever seen in an outside area of that. Previously, before getting to the Southwest, I had only saw in the Northeast one that was a 4. And I thought that was really pretty incredible at the time. I think I saw a couple 3s in Texas, but that's the first time I ever saw in the outside area a class 2. And that means that the fire department has the ability to haul enough water with tankers and tenders and shuttling water capabilities to have a needed fire, to be able to meet a needed fire flow for all the structures in that area. And for that to come out to be a 2 in that area is just incredible. Commissioner, that is like fantastic, sir. I think that should be highly commended. Congratulations again, and Mayor, you have a fantastic city, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Well, anybody who thought they were going to come to a fire station, the working fire station, there were going to be some distractions, guess what? You're at a working fire station. So here we are. Thank you for your patience with that. So now I want to call up the Oklahoma Insurance Commissioner, Glenn Mulready.
Thank you, and thank you for the invitation to be here. This is an exciting time. I won't walk you through an insurance PowerPoint, but I love the interruptions and the noise. As I was sitting there, it made me smile. I thought, okay, this is what the fire department's about. Always on call, always serving. So it was a perfect illustration, even if you did just stage it. But no. It is good to be here with you. I want to first recognize Ken's work. Ken is with ISO, and Lois, who was introduced earlier, she's an employee of the Oklahoma Insurance Department. Lois is traveling around the state, working with fire departments. The words I like to say is kind of coaching them up, and how do we move up to better fire protection through the ISO system. And so she kind of coaches through how to move from a 5 to a 4, or in your case to a 1, and so she's doing a great job out there for us. When I came into office 2.5 years ago, I think we had 3 that were protection class 1. We now are at the verge of 8 in our state, so that's really, really exciting progress. And let me commend the front row here, because it takes resources and commitment to have that nice truck that just pulls out and is fully staffed. So it takes resources for technology, those communications that Skip just talked about, technology and equipment for that, and staffing. So it kind of takes the whole community. So way to go. And what that translates to for each one of you and every citizen in Edmond is lower insurance premiums. Because as that protection class moves up, those insurance premiums go down. So becoming a protection class 1, I don't know what business across the street, it saves them money annually on their insurance premium and makes them safer. But the homeowners is the same thing. So it's our job, the insurance department, to sort of connect those dots for the communities and for folks so they understand. The average person, they're going to hear tonight on TV that Edmond's a protection class 1, and they're going to kind of shrug their shoulders and think, what does that mean to us? It means they can feel good about their community and the commitment of resources, feel good about the protection, but also feel good that that is lowering their insurance premiums. So that's our role in that. So that's all. I just want to take a couple minutes to say thank you and to celebrate with you, and it is an exciting day, so way to go.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Now, I love it when the fire truck went off, because that's reality that just supplemented what we were talking about today. But listening to everybody, listening to the PowerPoint, it just tells me one thing. This is a team sport. And we as a community are team players. I think my teammates right here in the front row, because we made decisions, we make them every day that help supply this city. To this city leadership, staff, you all make decisions, you bring them to us, and we help make decisions, or those decisions that you want to implement that help this community out, which is all great, it's beautiful. And this is just another selling point for us in Edmond, that now we're ISO 1. And right now there's only 5. I know you said we're going to 8, but we're in the top 5. And that is a beautiful thing. And so I just wanted to thank everyone for being here. I'll speak for the council. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything you have done for us to help everyone who's helped us to understand what was necessary to become ISO, and we were able to put those things into place. It's a great day. It's a beautiful day in Oklahoma, and it's really a beautiful day in Edmond. Thank you very much.
I've got a few notes here because I don't want to miss anyone, but I just wanted to thank everybody. You heard in that presentation how much of a team effort this was, and that is the truth. A lot of years of hard work from a lot of different agencies, a lot of different people, and I just want to try to recognize a few of those today. So first off, our citizens for the investment in public safety. Over the years that we've enjoyed, the support that we've always gotten for our citizens is very important to us, and I want to recognize them. Next, our current mayor and council, and prior mayors and council, the support that we've always had from them has has allowed this to be a reality. The investment that the council has made into equipment and personnel and all the things that go with that and the benefits that we're seeing off of that. Our emergency manager, Matt Stillwell, and our communication operations manager, Christy Jaggy, are here today, and we want to thank you and your team of dispatchers. You saw the big role that communications and dispatch plays in this rating, and so we thank you and your team for that. Chris Knifing, I don't know if Chris is here today or not, but Chris Knifing is our water resources manager. Again, you saw the value of water distribution systems and the improvements that we've made to our water distribution system over the years. Our neighboring fire departments, we've got the fire chief from Deer Creek here and from Oak Cliff. Both of those fire chiefs are here with us today. We signed mutual aid agreements with them a few years ago, and we partnered together to haul water and to assist each other. And again, you saw some of the value of that, so thank you all for your part. Our internal fire prevention division, Chief Fitzgerald's here somewhere, and his staff, you see the value of fire code and fire investigation, public education, and that team does a tremendous job in our community with those things. Our fire training division, the value of training, importance of training so that our personnel are trained to do their job well. We've got an amazing training division that really does well, and they document that training, and so thank you for that. Our suppression firefighters, our battalion chiefs out in the field for the services that they provide, the job that they do. They're well-trained individuals, and they do their job very well. And then Ken, for your help. We've been working with you for a lot of years, and I know this last year was, I don't think people realize the work that goes into an ISO evaluation. There's a lot of information, a lot of details, a lot of information gathering that has to take place. So thank you for your help with that. And then lastly, my deputy chief of administration, Chris Denton. Chris was the perfect person for this job. His attention to detail. Chris, you did a great job with this. Really explored everything and worked diligently, and so we all get to enjoy that now for the next 5 years and work to continue to improve on that. So thank you for that.
I don't enjoy doing this, but today it really is a great day, and thank you, Chris. First of all, congratulations, Chief Goodwin, Chief Denton. You guys have worked extremely hard. And, you know, ISO is always on the front burner in our organization. You know, and when we got low numbers before, we were always happy. But to get this one, it really is it's a huge event today. So really appreciate all of your hard work, countless hours that you put in, Chris, in order to get all the documentation together. What I liked when the ISO gentleman was speaking, he talked about the people, right? And that's what it really boils down to. You know, I recall early on in my career, and we had to do ISO. I was in Florida, and when it got to the communications piece, we looked at technology and redundancy, and we didn't look at any other performance. And you know, in my career, I've been blessed to be able to work on standards for our industry. And I remember 10 or 12 years ago, a group of us from APCO met with ISO to talk about that disconnect, and to see that that's part of your standards today is a great reflection on A, we're working together as partners, but B, that what you're looking for is relevant to the service we're providing. So thank you for that. The only other thing I want to say real quickly is there are many facets to the communications piece. We get to the people, and the people is where the service is delivered. So when we had this crew dispatched to the fire, I don't know if you noticed that clock up there, but that was ticking. And normally the truck is in here, and those guys are looking at how long it's taking them to accomplish their piece. Their piece being getting ready, getting mobilized, getting in the vehicle, and getting out the door. And they've got a visual as to how long that takes. Seconds save lives. And in the dispatch center, the dispatchers save seconds, and seconds save lives. So just before that call came out, a 911 call came in. How long did it take us to answer the phone? How long did it take us to process that information to be able to have that call ready for dispatch? And then how long did it take for that dispatcher actually to get those tones going and those guys mobilized? That whole process, I guarantee you, was less than a minute from the phone ringing to these guys moving. And we're really proud to be part of that. that wouldn't happen if it wasn't for Christy, our operations manager. Ben Curry is here. He's our training coordinator. And you know, just our training, our standards, our processes all align to save those seconds, to keep our citizens safe and to save lives. So appreciate all the hard work you guys do. Keep it up. Appreciate everybody coming out today. And again, I'm just really proud to be part of the celebration. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Your team, I don't know if you were able to catch in the PowerPoint presentation, but the communications department, they scored 100% of all the score. 100, not a 99.9, 100%. Very, very impressive. We have a great relationship with communications. We always say that. They're the ones that get the call first, and then we take it from there. They hand it off perfect to us every single time. So, Christy, Ben, again, you guys are amazing. Your team is a very, very, very good job. So a couple things I would like to thank. First of all, here in Edmond, we have an amazing group of leaders that fully understand public service is very important to their community, very important. Thank you, councilmen and women, mayor, city manager. This doesn't happen overnight. This is a plan that takes place. It takes a long time to get there. We've gotten there. We're very proud today to be an ISO Class 1 rated community. So thank you for your leadership and your guidance and your direction. I would also like to thank Chris Goodwin, our fire chief. I remember one of our first conversations about ISO. I said, Chief, we're an ISO 2. I was proud. He said, why not a 1? I said, but Chief, we were a 3 before. But why not a 1? What's it going to take to get there? We're going to get there. And he said, we need to get there. Even if it's not this year, we'll get there the next time. We got there this time. So, Chief Goodwin, with your direction and your leadership, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Great job. I would like to thank all the firefighters, all of our men and women that work for us, that serve, that drive on those red fire trucks, all the ones that work in the background. That's what makes an ISO 1 department. And I want to thank each and every one of them personally. All of their hard work pays off, and today is one of those dividends that we're seeing. So very good job to each and every one of them. I know there's been a lot of headaches and heartaches about classes and classes and classes and classes, but this is what we get to reap the benefits from. So congratulations to each and every one of you. To our mutual aid partners, Blake and Corey, thank you so much for what you guys do for us. You guys helped us get there. We appreciate you guys. We love working with you. You're a great asset to the communities around us and to us. What we're going to do now, we're going to do a real quick presentation. So I would like to call up Ken Stoops. And yeah, you want to get your plaque?
Yeah. Okay. First off, thank you. I'm going to take you off speed dial. So,
Yes.
You did a lot. I appreciate what you did for the whole group and everything. Everybody said most everything I could say, but it is a team effort, okay? We're all in this together. We all have our roles and our titles, and it's a good thing that we're all playing the same game. So anyway, I appreciate all you did, and thank you. At this time, I'd like to present this plaque to you. This is a representation of the hard work that everybody's gone through to receive this, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.